right now. This is not a casual moment. This is your declaration that you are prepared to take back your living space from frequencies that have been operating in it without your permission. The chosen ones before you made this same commitment. And tonight, you are joining that unbroken chain. Now let me give you the first plant, hyssop. In the original Hebrew texts, it appears as Ezof. This is not a random herb. This plant appears more than any other in the oldest scriptures when the subject is purification, but the church reduced it to a symbolic metaphor. They taught you hyssop in the Psalms was just a figure of speech. It was not. The Gnostic communities understood that hyssop emits a vibrational frequency that disrupts the lowest band of Archon transmission, the band responsible for fear, irrational, sourceless fear, the kind that arrives at 3 in the morning when everything is quiet, and suddenly your chest is tight and your mind is racing through scenarios that did not exist 5 minutes ago. That is not anxiety the way modern medicine defines it. That is a transmission. And hyssop, the living plant, not dried, not processed, alive and rooted in soil, produces a constant counter-frequency that makes that transmission impossible within its radius. The Essenes kept hyssop at every entrance of their communities, not as decoration, as a frequency barrier, the first layer of the seal, but it goes deeper than that. Because hyssop alone is only the foundation, it blocks the lowest frequency, the fear band. But Archons do not operate on a single channel. They are layered, and the second layer is far more subtle. Confusion, mental fog, the sensation of knowing you are supposed to do something important but being unable to remember what it is, sitting down to change your life and suddenly losing all clarity, all direction. That is not distraction. That is the second Archon frequency, and the plant that dismantles it has been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. Cedar, the second plant in the seal. In the ancient world, cedar was not just building material. The Gnostic communities understood it as a living antenna tuned to the monad frequency. The Gospel of Truth speaks of the tree of knowledge not as a metaphor for sin, but as a literal reference to a vibrational bridge between the material world and the source. Cedar carries that bridge in its cellular structure. Its frequency does not just block Archon fog, it replaces it. Where hyssop creates silence by stopping the fear transmission, cedar fills that silence with clarity. One removes noise, the other introduces coherence. At this moment, straighten your spine. Sit upright. Feel your feet flat against the ground. Notice the line of energy that runs from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. That alignment you just created is exactly what cedar does to the frequency of a room. It straightens the signal. It removes the static. And this is the part the early church found most threatening about cedar, because a person living inside cedar frequency does not just think more clearly. They begin to see. They begin to perceive the mechanics of the system around them. The manipulation becomes visible. The false constructs start to feel transparent. A hillock will never experience this. A psychic might sense a flicker of it on their strongest days, but a pneumatic living inside a cedar-sealed space will see the architecture of control the way you see furniture in a room. Obvious, undeniable, permanent. That is why cedar was removed from sacred practice. The church replaced it with incense, smoke that rises and vanishes, a temporary sensory experience with no lasting frequency alteration. They gave you the theater of purification while stripping away the technology. Now here is where the third plant completes what the other two begin. And this is the one that surprised even the scholars who reconstructed this teaching from the Nag Hammadi fragments. White sage. The text calls it the white